Hi guys, and welcome to this weekly horoscope for Monday the 23rd of May going through until Sunday the 29th of May 2022. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm going to go through each day this week to see what the planets are doing, how they interact with one another, and what energy that brings up. And then the point of these weekly horoscopes is to understand what that energy is so that you can use it to your advantage and have the best week possible. So the thing that I noticed about this week is, first and foremost, we have Mercury, the communication planet, that's in retrograde until the 3rd of June. And when Mercury goes retrograde, it can cause practical issues like, travel plans becoming more complicated. If you're moving, like the stuff is delayed, getting the wrong end of the stick. But with this one particularly, I feel that there's a change in your perception, and things that don't usually make sense to you or things that you don't usually enjoy start to seem okay. Whereas the reality is it's important to step back from things and not to act on a whim, but to do your research instead. And then the other problem is that we've got Mars, the planet of ambition and drive, that goes into Aries this week. And Mars rules Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. So it's all about what can I do? How can I move ahead? And Mars and Aries, in mythology, they rule war. So it's about action, it's about fire, but it's also about conflict. And we also have Jupiter, the lucky planet, in Aries. So both of those, Jupiter in Aries, are saying, go, go, go. Make sure you make progress. So that, coupled with Mercury retrograde, really sets the stage for errors to be made. You know, if I don't know what I'm doing, but I have this overweening desire to just make progress no matter what, then it's likely that I'm going to cause further issues for myself. So I'll have a look at when all of that happens. The key thing about this week is that there's a lack of acceptance around what's going on, and that could create a lot of frustration, especially if you feel like you can't move ahead in the way you would like. And then if that's the case, that may be replaced by a strong desire to escape via relationships with people, places, and things. It's kind of like you step to the side and you say, well, I can't progress with this, so I'm going to make progress here. And again, that could be somewhat problematic if things look different, and if the usual warning signs and the red flags that go off don't go off, then you may get yourself into a situation that you don't want to be in. Okay, so Monday the 23rd of May, we've got the Sun in Gemini, forming a sextile with Jupiter in Aries. So the Sun in Gemini is optimistic, it's in an air sign, it's about communication, it's about finding ways forward. So even that is about, how can I understand things? How can I express myself, and how can I make progress? And then being kind of fired up by Jupiter in Aries, it says, speak your mind, have no filter. Doesn't matter if you know what you're talking about as long as you're talking. So that kind of thing permeates the whole week, and that's what I think is something to be careful about. And if you have a tendency to put your foot in your mouth or to insult people or offend them, even if that's not your intention, then be very careful around that. Like, some of the things it may feel like they're just tripping off your tongue. So that's another area where if you're making a lot of progress by just speaking, then maybe kind of reel that in and say, okay, how is this going to go down? The moon is in Pisces, so your intuition helps and supports you, and it sextiles Uranus in Taurus. So if there are any major changes in your practical circumstances, listening to your gut, how you can manage this, what already exists, that's a good idea. Mercury in Taurus. So even though Mercury is in retrograde, when it's in Taurus, it likes to express itself in tangible ways. So it likes to ground information to make it more simple and accessible. So rather than contemplating the value of gender identity in the 1930s, looking at how can I express this feeling on canvas and paint? Or how can I ground myself a little bit by, I don't know, going for a hike or walking in nature? Simplicity works much better than making things overly complicated. So Mercury in Taurus then sextiles Mars in Pisces. It's still in Pisces on Monday, and that's nice because intuitively, again, you'll get messages about how you can express yourself creatively, but it works the other way around as well. So if you're gardening or something, you may get ideas and messages about unrelated things that exist in your life already and how you can work with them. So the good news about the Sun in Gemini is that whether Mercury is in retrograde or not, is that you're articulate and you're ready to make things happen. So exercise caution there. Instead of moving ahead willy-nilly, I think it's better to do more research and to kind of cool your jets a little bit. The earth and water energies on Monday, they allow you to make sense of what already exists rather than building something new. So if you have a choice between those things, the new that doesn't exist already, or what already is in my life and how I can engage with it, look at what you can perfect in the here and now. Tuesday, the 24th of May, we've got Venus in Aries. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, and creativity. And in Aries, she's quite aggressive. She likes to get what she wants. And that sextiles Saturn in Aquarius. So you may feel drawn to some sort of information or some type of learning that appeals to you. The Pisces moon conjuncts Neptune and Mars in Pisces. So you have amazing access to your intuition, to the higher realms. If things don't make sense and you want some spiritual answers to guide and support you, Tuesday is a good day to get those answers. So meditation, yoga, chanting, qigong, Reiki, crystals, anything that kind of in a tangible way allows you to access your intuition is going to be super, super helpful. So if you're looking to get a reading as well, Tuesday the 24th is great because a lot of people are just going to be able to pull down the answers very easily. The Pisces moon also sextiles Pluto in Capricorn and Mercury in Taurus. So your feelings will give you an understanding of how you can perfect things in the natural world in your practical life. The moon then goes into Aries at 11:39 in the evening. So that's a big shift from I'm interested in the spiritual and my intuition versus I want to race, I want to compete, I want to get things done. It's a totally different attitude. Plus, Mars then also enters Aries on Tuesday, and that's what I was saying earlier. That's really this huge sense that I have to get from here to there, no matter what. Even if over there isn't better than here, as long as I feel like there's a sense of momentum and I'm doing something, that's all I'm interested in. So from Tuesday onward, fact-checking and making sure that you're engaging with things that actually serve you is a really, really good idea. The Aries moon then conjuncts Jupiter in Aries, so it's like building, 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 building. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And it sextiles the Sun in Gemini. So even verbally, you just want to be out there and all over the place. So how does that help? It helps if you're someone who really struggles to assert yourself or to speak up or to you don't like being seen. You know, like if you're at a party and having your picture taken is the worst thing ever, then on Tuesday you'll manage it. Like appearing and being yourself isn't an issue. The issue, I think, is much more for people who are a bit much anyway, or who do tend to be domineering or bossy or reckless. So play that by ear and see where you are in that. If you need a confidence boost, it's certainly there. If you need to kind of rein it in a little bit, Tuesday isn't the best day and the warning signs are going up. With the Venus and Saturn connection, Tuesday is a really good day for learning and honing your skills. With all the fire energy, you may be somewhat restless. And the solution to that restlessness is to simply walk out the door or to make it happen, either in communication or work or in relationships. So again, exercise caution. There is a stop sign on Tuesday. And as the day goes on, this desire to make progress gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you're not performing in a way that matches how you feel, then you could become really frustrated, and that could end with conflict between you and other people. Wednesday, the 25th of May, we've got the Aries moon now forming a sextile with the Sun in Gemini. So this is a great day for writers and people who do want to generate a lot of content. The words are just going to trip off your tongue. It also conjuncts Chiron in Aries. So doing something for yourself is going to be super, super satisfying. I have this idea, I want to do it, let's see. And you know, the good thing about writing on your own without publishing it is that even if you haven't got all the info, you're jumping on that creative impulse to express yourself. If it's not live, like a blog or a live video or something, then despite the Mercury retrograde, you can go back to that work and edit it afterwards. So just because Mercury retrograde doesn't mean that you don't have to express yourself, but it's just that there may be some errors in there and you can resolve that by going over your work afterwards. Mercury in Taurus trines Pluto in Capricorn. So again, you're able to express something in a practical way, but also working with anything earthy and tangible. Money, being out in nature, a physical connection with another human being. I mean, anything tangible. Your health, your physical body, your diet. You'll get intuitive messages about what you can do to implement changes which would structure and perfect your relationship with nature or that other person or work. So it's very much about editing and perfecting what already exists, again, rather than building something totally new. With the Aries moon energy and the sun in Gemini, I think on Wednesday there may be a tendency to point fingers and to blame other people for your lack of progress, if that's what you're feeling. Like if you feel like you're not getting where you want to be, rather than point the finger at yourself, it's like it's your fault. Any unwelcome news can immediately become a witch hunt. It's like someone who's deliberately trying to sabotage you. So I think on Wednesday, just saying, how can I take accountability for what's going on? That's important. But more significantly, it's what is my part in this whole situation? Is it really everyone else who's to blame, or do I have a part in this? So I think on Wednesday, it's good to, rather than, go for it, I think it's better to step back and to assess the situation as objectively as you can, and to try and work through problems practically by taking practical action, and then also by being practical by that Mercury in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn, you also get messages back. So the earth-water thing really supports you this week. Thursday, the 26th of May, we've got the Aries moon forming a conjunction with Venus in Aries. So it's all systems go. I want to be in love. I want to be creative. I want to be expressive. I want to be around beautiful things, and I want to have my voice heard. And again, you can see how that creates conflict. If you're at a dinner and you have this amazing story to tell and it takes 3 hours, but there are 40 people at the dinner, everyone's going to be like, oh, are they still talking? So it's being considerate of other people if you want to avoid conflict. The Aries moon squares Pluto and Capricorn, so I really need to make changes no matter what. So this frustration, like I have to go, energy kind of returns. But the good news is the Aries moon also sextiles Saturn in Aquarius. And that's interesting because on Thursday what I'm getting is that Saturn in Aquarius kind of offsets the negative influence of Mercury in retrograde. And you're able to learn something which, one, allows you to see things clearly, but also you're able to access information which exists regardless of Mercury retrograde. The information is right, you can trust it. Venus in Aries then squares Pluto in Capricorn, so even more so, it is my sole purpose in life to affect change. Which, again, if it's nonsense, if it's bad change, then no. Learning, working, and any kind of social situation on Thursday can lead to new beginnings in relationships. Usually, Venus in retrograde is the thing to look out for when starting new relationships, but because this Mercury retrograde is in Gemini, a sign that it rules, the thing that's really, really affected is your perception. And you may be interested in things or people who aren't necessarily good for you. So what am I saying? Am I saying that you should just kind of lock yourself up in your room all week and not do anything? No. What I'm saying is resist the urge to just elope and to just do things randomly without checking anything, and instead Take stock of what your life is like and how you can improve it. Friday, the 27th of May, the moon goes into Taurus at 5:22 in the morning. So that's nice because the moon in Taurus is much more about, let's see where we are now. It's not Aries that says rush off and get things done and blast through obstacles. It's like, let's enjoy the good life. Let's put our feet up. Let's enjoy the beautiful things in nature and in other people. Venus is in Aries, so Venus in Aries still bossy and still wants what it wants. And with Taurus, there's a big focus on beauty and sex and chemistry and physical connection between you and other people. And also things that enchant you, you know, like going to Durdle Door and the beach and seeing the beauty of nature. And it's like, oh, wow, I just adore this. So you can be super inspired by seeing beautiful things that kind of, I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So what is it that you find beautiful? Expose yourself to that on Friday. It's going to give you ideas for improvements in your actual life. Venus in Aries squares Pluto in Capricorn. So you're able to enjoy nice things without immediately jumping into, okay, what am I going to do to change things or to build something new? It's that, that energy I'm really picking up on this week. It's just that frustrated, like I have to break out of this. And if you break out of prison, but then you end up in a psychiatric unit, that's not much of a change, is it? So change for the sake of change, big no-no, I feel. So on Friday, the frustration does return, especially if things aren't the way you'd like them to be. Resist making changes on a whim and instead ask yourself what you can accept in the here and now and also what you can perfect by working with it. Saturday, the 28th of May, we've got the Taurus moon now forming a conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is the planet of the eccentric and the miraculous. And in Taurus, it changes in a practical sense. So that's kind of interesting because the moon in Taurus does not like change. No. It likes to see what already is and how it can enjoy that and feel safe and secure. Uranus in Taurus says, I am blowing up your whole environment and it's going to look very different later on than it did this morning. So you're being kind of confronted with something that you don't necessarily like on Saturday. Venus enters Taurus at 4:46 in the afternoon. So with Venus now going into Taurus, the relentless drive to just make things happen eases off. And what heightens even more is this focus on chemistry and beauty and things that make you feel good physically. So if you like taking bubble baths and it's just blissful to you, that kind of thing on Saturday is really going to work wonders. Or, you know, like stimulating the physical senses. If you like aromatherapy and a little lavender pillow in your bed, then do that. You're going to get a huge amount out of that because you're so in your body on Saturday. Overall, though, with the moon, you do dig your heels in and you become somewhat stubborn. And that's not so great if things are up in the air and changing. Looking at your practical circumstances again and how you can make helpful changes, that's going to work well. So going with the flow and saying things are changing, how can I tap into that rather than nothing will ever change, I refuse? That's not helpful. Getting creative and spending time in nature will calm things down even more and will give you that sense of pleasure. It's a good day to enjoy simple things like painting, gardening, eating California sushi roll, whatever makes you feel, this is nice. Sunday the 29th, okay, we've got a lot happening on Sunday. Sunday, we've got the Taurus moon forming a conjunction with Mercury in Taurus. So Earth, and seeing the Earth differently. It trines Pluto in Capricorn, so I want to make changes to what I'm seeing. It squares Saturn in Aquarius. Maybe other people can educate me and help me on this journey. And it sextiles Neptune in Pisces. Or maybe I should just connect with my higher self and ask them what I'm supposed to be doing. Mars in Aries, conjunct Jupiter in Aries. I am inflated like a helium balloon and I'm just getting bigger and bigger and I feel like I'm going to pop if I don't do something with my life. That's the danger, that feeling. The moon enters Gemini at 7:23 in the evening. So that's a nice outlet. Maybe if I'm feeling super frustrated, maybe I'll just talk a bunch of nonsense to get some of the helium out of my system. Again, that could create conflicts and arguments with other people. Especially if you're just articulating every frustration that you've got. I remember I was in a party in Holland in 2005 or 2006, and I was sitting there. I can't remember. I just remember the outcome. I was sitting there. I was with a couple of friends, and I don't know if I was chatting to a friend or this woman I was speaking to, but somehow this woman just looked at me and she said, "Do you know what? I really don't like you." That kind of thing. It wasn't helpful to our relationship. We didn't become BFFs. We didn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, every thought you have, one, why am I being subjected to every thought? Why does that interest me? And second of all, is it constructive to tell someone like, wow, look at your face? It's not constructive. The Gemini moon, so if you want to avoid conflict, just edit, right? The Gemini moon also sextiles Jupiter and Mars in Aries. So it's verbal diarrhea, sorry, on Sunday. You may become aware of changes on Sunday undertaken by other people, and you may take issue with those changes or with those actions. And you may want to insert yourself in other people's business and give them a piece of your mind. I'm saying please don't. It's not going to help you or them. There is also this restless push to get things done, coupled with the sense that things aren't moving the way that you want them to. And that friction brings up even more conflict and irritability. Creativity, particularly writing on Sunday, that works well. And also admin work is supported by this energy and you can get organized. So accepting, using your energy for to improve practical circumstances, that's what's supported. What isn't supported is just flying off the handle, doing things that are ill-informed, and letting other people have a piece of your mind, not supported. So it's an interesting week, and I feel that it can be a very comfortable week, particularly if you look at your circumstances and how you can build with them and how you can not necessarily perfect them, but certainly improve them majorly. And that's going to feel super satisfying. And then you're also fulfilling the need of Jupiter in Aries and Mars in Aries, saying go, 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 go. Channel that energy into improving your existing circumstances. So that's what I get for you this week. I hope you have a wonderful time. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, scroll down a little bit until you get to a button that says book your reading. Click on that button to order your reading with me. And in my personal readings, I use astrology, I use the tarot, and I use numerology. I combine all three to answer any questions that you may have. To draw up your birth chart, one like this, that's a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born. And I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. Once I have that info, I get your chart, and then I can answer any questions you may have about your default setting, about your talents when it comes to work, about what you're striving to become, work, relationships, family, communication, money, personal development, institutions, travel, work, hopes and dreams, spiritual development. Any questions you may have at all, really. And I can also look at what's coming up in future via the progress chart, the transits, and the tarot. And if you're thinking about different places to move to and what each place is going to feel like, I use astrocartography for that. So if you're interested in any of those things, if you do have any questions for me, please do get in touch via my website, gregoryscott.com. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Check out some of my other videos, the daily tarot readings, the special videos on the new moons and the full moons. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And I'll speak to you soon. All the best.